Good morning, all you beautiful girls out there. And all girls are beautiful by their nature. Absolutely. Now, I had about 3 real good songs sung by top vocalists. But they said I had to remove them because I start by saying this is my video, and then I bring them in with even just the music, or especially them with singing the song. I don't have that right. It's their song. But I noticed that many of them play the video of someone else. So it appears as though they have the tip-tap gadgetry here, expertise of where they present the video from the beginning. In other words, it's the vocalist's video, they just present it without, just with their name that they're presenting it. Well, that's possible. But at the moment, what I want to do is sort of person to person, if you please. Acknowledge the beauty of girls. I always say, though, as far as yours truly, I say at least 21 plus is who I confer with. I don't confer with anybody under 21. And I actually prefer 50 plus. That's just what I prefer. Now, what I want to do, though, is if something is good, then that is worth presenting. So I thought it would be okay to present, for instance, Connie Francis, You Belong to My Heart. She has it in Castellano, but they use Solamente mi ves. The translation is not the same, so it gave me a little difficulty until I realized they have the liberty to say it's You Belong to My Heart and sing the melody in English, but in Castellano, it's better to sing it with I'm like the only one and for you, dear, or something like that. I'm not a linguist. I have more difficulty with languages than I do with the mathematical physics. It's really. And if you talk about the stars and the heavens, I have some great work in cosmology. That's in the discipline of cosmology. However, in music and in personal presentation, voice, I don't have maybe the great voice, but I've noticed that I always could comprehend real good quality in music. And that then I think gives me the sort of authority to present who I think is a top vocalist. And among the men, for you beautiful girls out there, not essentially in this perfect order, but I have the 3 tenors, then Andrea Bocelli, then Enrico Caruso, then Mario Lanza. And maybe I should say a little note about each. The 3 tenors, of course, became the best group ever when they combined before the World Cup in football. And each is a great performer. The trio together, that is, in my opinion, I start with them. Then Andrea Bocelli has a terrific voice, and not that he's sightless, but it's terrific that a man who is sightless can be that great and perform in that great manner. Then Enrico Caruso, of course, set the standard of somebody with a classical voice, and then sing those classical renditions and making them popular. And Mario Lanza. Now, Mario Lanza was a truck driver, and to kind of break up the boredom, he would go along as he drove with his truck and sing. And he got to where he figured as he matured that his voice was maturing and getting better. And people were saying, you know, you have a good voice. And from that, he tried to be a singer and was recognized. And then, especially when he got to Hollywood, he made the movie Caruso. And because of the modern way they can record and emphasize in training, in my opinion, he actually sings better in Caruso when he played Enrico Caruso. So he's a great vocalist. Then there's Robert Merrill. Robert Merrill for the New York Philharmonic. He never missed a performance. And then I have a little personal joke about that. He said it. They interviewed him, and he says, well, I think his real name was Merrill. They used his real name, and they said, how did you never miss a performance? And he said, well, when I was training, they told me, especially in the cold weather of New York, use a little garlic. He says, it helps to keep you from getting a cold, and it helps your voice. So it did help me. I always could then never miss the performance. And I said, well, that's great. He says, yeah, it was great for me personally, but it wasn't that great on the stage. He says, what do you mean? He says, oh, you know those prima donnas, but they always want the audience to see them. So this one particular prima donna, though, she had to do it exactly as it was supposed to be done. But she wanted the audience to definitely hear her, and then as quick as she could, look at the audience. And when I would sing with her, oh, she would give me heck. She almost canceled the performance because I would have the little garlic. So I told her, I says, prima donna, look, they'd rather see you than me. You face the audience. As soon as I turn towards you to answer and sing with you, you turn towards the audience. Now, then there's Nelson Eddy. Now, in the movie, there's a movie with Jeanette MacDonald, who I have after Lily Pons. I have Lily Pons, Jeanette MacDonald. They sing, I think, the love song, and she has, what a voice she has. And then Nelson Eddy is in that movie, and he has a great voice. Perry Como. Now, he has such a smooth, good voice. It's just natural. Then Dean Martin. Great. Oh, those, you get to Dean Martin as a performer. Those Dean Martin roasts are a sensation. And then Andy Williams. Now, Andy Williams has introduced some songs that were voted #1. And then personally, he tried to help women who needed help, like Ethel Kennedy, and we have Connie Francis, and so forth. And some of the songs he sings are exceptional. So, etc. Now, I'd like to have where I have Lily Pons find her the lyrics and study them and see if I can at least sing the melody with her. Well, I'm going to also mention another one, is Grayson. Now, she has such a good voice, and I actually tried to confer with her, but when I called, it sounded just like her. And I said, well, you don't know who I am, but you are Kathryn Grayson. Obviously, your voice. She says, no, I'm her niece. But everybody says that I look and definitely sound just like her. She said, she's in Australia. She says, what? I said, I think if she and I buy her old movies, I think we could play them and they'd be really great. And then Ted Turner, who I have conferred with as far as maybe the basketball team that he has there, and of course he really has a great baseball team. He bought those movies and has them now on Turner Classic Movies. Small world. You want to talk to a small world is Gene Kelly and Singing in the Rain. Well, you know, I lived in Las Vegas for a while, and many of the performers are there. And Donald O'Connor, I've met him, just met him. And his work with that Singing in the Rain is extraordinary. Then, of course, Connie Francis, and then Doris Day. Did I mention that Doris Day hits every note of every song she ever sings? Phenomenal. And then there's Dinah Shore. She had the best musicals, popular, and number one was Stardust. And she sings Stardust as good as it can be sung. Well, then I should then mention the McGuire sisters for harmonizing entertainment. When they had on that PBS with the McGuire sisters featured, is terrific. Okay, so I want to say that, of course, have a pleasant day, and thank you, and have fun.